And hello, everybody. Welcome to our latest installment of Retro Championship Wrestling. This is Big Paulie coming to you. And we are in the Indies, and we are going to do an overhaul. I should note, after this week, because I'm still not happy with things. And if you have been following my trips through various wrestling's finest projects, you know that that's true. So we're going to do our matches, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the best 48 in the rankings, and we're going to put them in a big old group. And we're going to do a Swiss tournament, so they'll all get 6-week contracts, everybody in the top 48, and the top 42 tag teams will also get 6-week contracts. If you go 3 or 3 and better, if you break 500 or do better, you stay and you get another 6-week contract. But if you do not, you are out and you have to sit out 6 weeks, and a new group comes in and they try it for 6 weeks, and it'll just continue on and on and on like that. So our first bout's going to be in the old Indies contenders group. So these guys are fighting for position in that top 48. And it's going to be Antonio Rocca facing Chris Tolos. They've each had one bout. And on we will go. And Tolos is cut right away. Well, that didn't take long, did it? First move, first bout, we have blood. And a pin attempt now by Rocca to follow that up after I entered it in. And Rocca with 2 quick pin attempts in the first few minutes, and now Tolos bleeding some more. And I should waive the cut rule before that becomes a problem. Drop kick by Rocca. Rocca's a guy who could make that top 48. And number of bouts won't matter in the top 48. If you're in, you're in. And I think the sample size after 6 weeks will catch up to everybody. Flying head scissors and a DQ. John Tolos has seen enough, and he attacks Antonino Rocca. Rocca just shrugs it off. And Rocca with a convincing win, we will say. So we'll probably see him in that top 48 in the 6-week contract. And we will, when we have tournaments like the Vogel Cup coming up week 26, we will just suspend the 6-week contract cycle we're on, do the tournament, and then get back to it. See if there are any attacks. So Rocca goes to the pay window, and we'll start our second bout. Here's 2 teams that might make the 42. So yeah, 48 singles, 42 tag teams. That's 90. We have 45 bouts in the course of a week. We'll do 9 bouts a show. And this will be the Smoking Guns of the early 90s WWF, taking on a very tough team, Rip Hawk and Swede Hansen. In a one fall 30-minute time limit bout. Both teams looking for their first win, but they were ranked high, mainly because their sample size is still small. And off we go with this one, the Hawk-Hansen duo, 0-2, but they lost to 2 good teams. And we're a couple of minutes into this bout. As we progress through, it's about even. Hawk and Hansen have a little bit of an edge in terms of pins. I moved my spreadsheet over to Google Sheets. Got that done rather quickly. Pile driver there by the Smoking Guns, Billy and Bart Gunn. See if these guys can find a winner here. Power slam, nope. And it's still about even at the 11-minute mark. The Guns have a 4-3 pin lead. Sidewinder by the Guns, whatever that move was. Inclined pile driver, no pin. Nice try there by Hawk and Hansen. And this bout is just staying even. Good bout here. Russian leg sweep. Doesn't get it done. Illegal choking. Nope. An inclined pile driver again. I think they had a miss on either the last time or that time. Power slam by the Guns. Nope. Both these teams looking like they could go well past 30, but we have that 30-minute time limit. Nope. So 24 minutes gone by. It's still about dead even. Guns have an 8-5 pin advantage. And no blood still. Hawk and Hansen. Nope. Yeah, this is looking like it'll be a draw unless something dramatic happens in the last few minutes. And the time limit expires. We have a 30-minute draw between these two teams. Good bout, three and a half stars, and the Guns led in pin attempts 9-6, which is neither here nor there. And if there are champions outside of the contenders groups, then they will be shoehorned in. Kind of like in basketball, where you see a lot of conference champions that wouldn't make the tournament because they won the conference. So on to our indie titles contention match. These guys are right now, Abdul the Butcher and Tommy Dreamer are highly ranked. mainly because they've had one bout against each other, and that's it. So we'll use the 77 and earlier Butcher against Tommy Dreamer here. See if these guys can improve on their last bout, which was a 20-minute time limit draw, so they get 30 here. Dreamer's going to have to adjust his strategy to face Abdul the Butcher because he's rather bulbous. Real life, he's in pretty bad health now, from what I hear. Oh, and I'm recording this on the day after Jerry Gray, who was a wrestler mainly in Florida and Memphis in the 80s, had passed away. He had been in bad health for quite a while. Spicoli driver on Abdul doesn't get it done. Oh, and Dreamer is cut, and it's a bad one. But aren't all cuts bad in wrestling? You hear my air conditioning going on. Butcher's axe. Nope. Spicoli driver. Nope. That's the top score. Abby with a lead past the 10-minute mark in terms of damage, but either of these guys could get DQ'd at any time. Next up will be our Brass Knucks contenders bout. No DQ, no time limit, which is something that'll be going. And Abdullah gets the pin at 15:04. So Abdul the Butcher picking up his first win after the Butcher's axe. Three stars. So Butcher could be a contender for championships, despite the fact that his sample size is not all that great. But that'll be the enjoyment out of the groups, because the groups will always be changing. So on to our brass knuckle bout. Brass knuckle tag team bout. No DQ, no time limit. Two good teams here. The Road Warriors, who I think have just been recently the subject of a biography piece, A&E, the A&E cable channel. They will be fan favorites here. And they face the former Southern tag champs, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, who will have J.J. Dillon in their corner. Once you win a title, you can pick up a manager, and that manager will stay with you. And you wonder who this will favor. As baby faces, the Roadies have just one draw against the Masked Assassins in a 20-minute bout, and Arn and Tully are 5-4-2. Haven't seen action since they lost the Southern belts to Dos Caras and Mil Mascaras. So this should be a wild and woolly brawl between these two teams, and you get a significant feeling that blood will be spilled here. But they could surprise us and not spill blood at all. Roadies start with a big lead. Doomsday device, but it was countered. You know, JJ being at ringside for the Horsemen, half of the four Horsemen for most of that group's reign. Now it's about even. Illegal punches by Arn and Tully. JJ trying to get a few shots in. These could be two teams in the 42. So it's about even. Remember, no time limit. We go until somebody wins or loses and you can't get DQ'd. I guess theoretically you could get counted out. Slingshot Suplex by Tully. Nope. It's 6 pin attempts to 4. Oh, roll of coins. Nope. JJ threw that to Arn. It's still about even. Pin attempt 7 to 4, Arn and Tully. Nope. No pin attempt there. Side roll by the Horseman. Nope. And the good thing about the Swiss tournament is the better you do, the better matches you get. Flying clothesline. Nope. We're still going, nearing the 30-minute mark. Oh, and somebody got cut. There was a cut earlier. Let me just see if I can find it. Well, I can't find it, but we will say that Tully picked up a cut. Maybe I was going too fast, but oh well. Doomsday Device. Yes. Road Warriors win. 29:57. 5-star bout, which is rare for a bout that doesn't go 30 minutes. Animal pins Arn with a Doomsday Device. So a big win for the Roadies. I will take a break, tabulate some of these bouts into the system, and I'll be back almost immediately. You're watching the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims YouTube channel. Our next bout is in the ring, title bout between the Hart Foundation, who have been the long-standing indie tag team champions, against the Kalmakoffs, Ivan and Carol with a K. One fall, 60-minute time limit. Kalmakov's looking for their first win. If they get one here, if it's clean, they are the champions. Whereas the Hart Foundation, baby faces, undefeated, 5 wins, no losses, 3 draws. And off we go with this indie tag title bout. Lufez faces the Dynamite Kid in our next bout for the indie championship. Chair shot to the face by the Hart Foundation. Kalmakoffs have gotten off to a good start, but there have been no pin attempts yet. Oh, and we have a cut on Neidhart. So the champ's in some trouble right now. It's been all Kalmakoffs. If they could just keep their heads about them, they got a good chance at this. Top rope knee drop. Countered. Boston Crab by Brett, who I remember seeing on Georgia wrestling in the late 70s, being billed from Great Falls, Montana. And now we have a cut to Carol Kalmakoff. But it's still the Kalmakoffs, although the Hearts are trying to make a comeback here. Oh, pin! Kalmakoffs are the new champions. A chop to the throat, a controversial chop to the throat, gives the Kalmakoffs the belts at 20 minutes and 30 seconds. So we have new Indie Tag Team title champions. So they will go into the group of 42, the tag group, with a championship to defend. And by the way, if champions do not go 500 on their 6-bout contracts, they still stay in because they are champions. Just can't exclude champions because they have a losing record through 6 bouts. That's the way the system will work. So, one title has changed tonight. We'll see if the others do. So let me just do a little math here. Go to titles, go to Indie. Yeah, they were champions since week 7. But now that is no longer true. Okay. On to our Indie title bout. And this should be a good one, too. Lou Thesz has been the reigning champion since he beat Medico Assassino for the belt a few weeks back. But Dynamite Kid could be just tricky enough. He'll be wrestling as a heel here. It's one of those guys, he could be agile enough and tricky enough to where he could win the title. I would not be the least bit surprised if that happened. As you see, Fez was also the former junior heavyweight champ. He's 9-2-3. He went to a double DQ in his last bout with Boris Malenko. Dynamite Kid beat Mark Rocco in his only bout. Oh, and Fez is cut right away. He is busted open. Fez in the first minute of the bout, 48 seconds. So this will be a very stiff challenge here by Dynamite. Forearms. I'm sure this will be on the Donnybrook side of a wrestling match. It's about even so far. No pin attempts yet. There was the first by Fez after a suplex. And Fez returning fire with fire, and he sends Dynamite Kid to the ring post. Paying off that receipt. And this is a double count out. A double count out. So Fez will keep the title. Kid could be a contender for the junior heavyweight title. Now, we will have occasions with this new system where the junior heavyweight title will be it'll be a non-title bout because he might be facing somebody who is not a junior heavyweight, but we'll just have to deal with that as it happens. And we're off to our main event after I do this right. Oh. So on to our main event, which will be, oh, Katie barred the door here. This is going to be a Pier 6 brawl, somebody used to say. It's going to be Bruiser, Brody, Stan, Hansen facing the Midnight Express without Jim Cornette. And it's going to be the Eaton and Condrey duo. You see Cornette there. Remember, no time limit. They are 2-2-1, and Brody and Hansen are won 4 out of 7, 2 losses and a draw. And they have won 3 in a row. And the Express come in having lost or not won 2 in a row. Let's put it that way. Oh, this is going to be a wild one, I think. Main event. First pin attempt. Who will the fans be cheering for here? Maybe the Express. Rocket launcher. And we have new champions. Just like that. 4 minutes, 28 seconds. So the Midnight Express, now they get to use Jim Cornette. In future bouts. That unlocks that cheat code. What a surprise win. And that frees up Brody and Hansen to compete in the singles if they are rated high enough, which I do not know at this moment. What a shock to the system this bout's going to be. So 2 titles change hands to close out the 15th week of RCW in year 1. And it was the tag titles that changed hands each time. Okay. Well, folks, hope you enjoyed the card. We will be back with this on Friday as we start week 16, and I'll explain the new system we're going to use. Give me a few days. I'm going to think of something else to do with this. This has already gone through several changes, but, sometimes I think with wrestling, you got to build a system that works with you, and sometimes I just experiment with this and that. And that's the beauty of it. It's not like other sports where you know what the format is. You could just play around with this. And I appreciate your tolerance if you don't like me playing around with this. But I'm trying to find a good system that will be easy to explain in terms of the other sports. So I hope you enjoyed it. Godspeed and God bless everybody. We'll do it again soon. And bye bye for now, everybody.